In fact, a lot of people are saying because they have some of these dudes, you might see a team that vies for the AFC West title. I know everyone wants to say that anyway, but nonetheless, they have some names here. Pete Carroll gives them some stability as a head coach, and many have compared it. I've seen Raiders fans compare it to when the Chiefs brought in Andy Reid, going from Cornell to Reid, bringing a guy who's won it before, who's won at the highest levels, and kind of reeling it back in. Now you have Pete Carroll, Super Bowl winning coach, Geno Smith, Ashton Jeanty, Raheem Mostert, Devin White, Jermaine Pratt. A lot of guys. They brought in a lot of names.
Yeah.
When you look at the new additions, I know you mentioned some of these guys in the previous kind of topic, but is this a team that you could see can be vying for a number 2 spot in the AFC West? And again, they're talking about they have a last place record, so they're playing against a lot of the last place teams and divisions. So really, this team could be a team that maybe a wild card sneak in next year. What do you think about that?
Is it a possibility? Sure. Devin White coming up there. Man, he's a hell of a player. But I think it all starts with the head coach and the quarterback. For you to be a contender in the NFL now, you got to be able to have a guy that is a franchise guy that can make all the throws, make all the adjustments, can manage a game, and can win. And they got that in Geno Smith, and Pete Carroll both. So you bring in the Super Bowl coach, you bring in a guy who played his tail off the past few years in Geno Smith. You bring in the young Ashton Jeanty behind him. That's going to make it a lot easier for him to throw the ball down the field because you got to contend with this young guy that's coming out the back. And then you got Raheem Mostert. I didn't know Mostert was there too. So then you got a veteran behind him that can do everything as well. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run down your throat. He can do it all. So they have re-upped a few guys. They have gotten better with the guys that you see out here. Eric Stokes is a good corner. Darren Porter is a good corner as well. So they have some guys, man. Jack Beck, I'm trying to think this name.
That was the receiver from TCU in our pre-draft show. That was one of the guys Taja highlighted.
That's right. So young guy that can catch the football. It's got some size on him, man. So he's going to be a great addition for him. And, they got, to go back to Brock Bowers, right? Brock Bowers is one of those guys. He's a weapon. It's going to be hard to contend with him going down the field. And like I said before, it all depends on the guy that's in the pocket, the main guy that can get the ball and facilitate it to everybody else. And they got a great one in Geno Smith. So,
do you see the Pete Carroll hire as like a comparison to when the Chiefs brought in Andy Reid to kind of right the ship?
I guess you could say that for sure. I mean, we know Pete Carroll's got a body of work, man. It's been successful in college and in the NFL. So why would you bring a guy in, especially when you start looking around the division, you're looking over here and, hey, there's Harbaugh, right? Oh, my goodness. All right, we're looking at Sean Payton. Oh, Andy Reid. So it couldn't just be a young guy. You can't bring a young dude who's trying to prove himself. You got to bring somebody who has, like I said, the body of work, the productivity, who has proven himself time and time again that he's a great coach. And Pete Carroll fits that mold. So you couldn't just bring anybody, Marcus. You can't. Pete Carroll's a great choice by them. So he's going to get those guys ready. He's going to get them guys ready to play. Now, does that mean they're going to beat the Chiefs? Not at all. Doesn't mean that at all. Just means that they just got better. So.
Yeah, we'll get to how they feel about the how they compare to the Chiefs in a second here. Yes, Jack Besh was the Senior Bowl MVP, so that's correct. Anderson Blackwell. Sasha says, "I'm glad we listened to Tasia on Judkins being a character concern." So I think that's hilarious. And I'm glad Brett was on Judkins so far. So.
We didn't need it. We had our guys. We didn't need Judkins. Was that your guy, Marcus?
Kid Juddy was my
guy. Yeah. The Tage character concerns, that's a good one right there, Sasha.
Hey, if you call out character concerns on everybody, you're eventually going to be right about one of them.
All right. Then we have upcoming season. So Vegas has set the Vegas line for the Raiders 7.5 wins this year. Their head-to-heads with Kansas City will be Week 7 at Kansas City, and then Week 18 to end the season at Las Vegas. Unfortunately, the Vegas game at Vegas will be at the end of the season. You know, just having that game in the middle of the season at any point playing at Allegiant Stadium has become like an undefeated spot for us. So it's unfortunate that's going to be a Week 18 game. And it's good though. That means Gardner Minshew will be able to go back to Allegiant Stadium and put a dub there while he's a Chief in Week 18 of the season. But JD, 7.5 wins. I know a lot of Vegas bettors, some of the professional bettors, they like the Raiders to be over this number.
Definitely. I'm looking at the schedule right now. So let me see. Man. I'm bring this thing up. So I'm seeing on here, obviously, the things that you're looking at: Chargers, Commanders, Bears, Colts, Titans. I'll be honest with you, Marcus. They probably have 11 wins in here, easy. There's some easy games. Giants, they should beat. Obviously, I think they'll probably split with the Broncos and Chargers. Browns, they should beat. Jags, they should beat. Titans, they should beat. Colts, they should beat. Bears, they should beat. Commanders going to be hard for them. Patriots, they should beat. And Cardinals. So I think they have at least 10 or 11 wins in there. So let me see. Let me count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I got at least 10. I'll give them 10 or 11 wins. That's what I'm seeing. At least 10.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, so that's the beauty about having the last place schedule. You get to put all the bottom feeders from every other division. And if you upgraded the most of all those teams, in theory, you should be coming out as a top dog.
Yeah. Because there's a few. It's obviously there's going to be a few teams still trying to figure everything out, right? So, like some of these teams, like I said, man, Cleveland and Jaguars, Titans, young quarterbacks, kind of uncertain who you're going to have. Jags, do they have enough? So Giants, same thing. They got Russell Wilson, but who else do they get? So
yeah, and you can make the case right out the gate, right? So New England, that's a toss-up game. New coaching staff as well. Still young quarterback. Chargers, that's probably a division game, so it's a toss-up as well.
Yeah.
Commanders, it's a good team. Second year, who knows what kind of film these defensive coordinators have found on Jaden Daniels. Let's say the Commanders win that. Bears, new regime. Caleb Williams going to his second year. Can he bounce back? Cole situation. Who knows? It's going to be Daniel Jones. It's going to be Anthony Richardson. Another one. Tennessee, disaster. Cam Ward's a rookie season. So, I mean, we don't know what he can be. Then you get to us. So, in theory, you can make the case that they can go 1, 2, 3. They can go 4-2 in the first 6 games. I mean, there's a world where that can be a case. And so 4-2, then you come to Kansas City, and then you kind of get brought back to reality. But at 4-3, there, still it's 4-2 going into a Kansas City game. That could be an interesting Week 7 game there as far as records wise.
Yeah. And that'll give them a lot of momentum. Like at 4-2, it'd be easy to cheer about for them, especially where they were last year, right? So definitely. Pete Carroll will change the culture around there for sure. He will. So.
Yeah, so a lot of fans think that the Raiders will last in division, which I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
What do they say? Last in the division?
Yeah.
It's a hard division, man. It's a hard division. And so that's why it's going to be hard to compete. But everything else outside of that, but I looked at Cleveland, the Titans, and those guys, they should be able to handle pretty easily. Same thing with Chicago. The thing is, man, if you get the game going, Gino starts doing his thing, man. Maxx Crosby starts knocking some heads off. You know, they'll give some teams fits. They will. So,
Are you a big Geno Smith fan?
I am. You know, I was. Gino's a guy I've been watching ever since he's been in the league, and all I've seen is him getting his chance and him getting better. Man, I know this guy is capable. I know he's able to do it. And you know what it takes? Sometimes it just takes somebody to believe in you. Somebody take the chance to say, look, man, we're going to stick with you. I don't care what anybody else is saying, but you're my guy. I believe in you right now. Okay? I have your back. We're gonna go with you, win or lose. We're gonna deal with you. We're gonna stay there. And Pete did that with Gino. And so what Gino did is he rewarded him with wins. I mean, he's a natural leader. And I hear this because, you know, I talked to, Lockett. You know, Lockett tells me how, you know, he treated him, how he was up there during at Seattle in time when he was up there, obviously as his quarterback. So, and I was talking to Kevin, you know, we talk different times on how, you know, different ones, obviously we have those conversations, but I've only heard great things about Gino, okay, and his leadership. So.
Yeah, the Geno departure was a big thing for the Seahawks. That was part of the reason why they got rid of Carroll, because he was such a big Geno guy. They gave him that long-term extension, and they're like, you know what? No, we don't want that. Then they kind of axed Carroll, and then next year they ship him out. He goes to the Raiders. So, yeah, Seattle with the Las Vegas Seahawks, they're calling the Seattle Raiders.
Well, Pete. Yeah, well, look, Pete doesn't have to do anything as far as having to develop another guy. You know, you go with the guy that you know, the guy that you trust. And he was like, look, if I'm leaving, I want to have Gino with me. And of course, like I said before, because Pete had a lot of belief in him. Gino was like, absolutely, I'm there with Pete. Why not? So, Noah John Marcy's gotten worse the last 3 years. He's better than Darnold, though. Seahawks messed up doesn't mean he's going to win. Bo Nix is better. Bo Nix is younger. Gino is a little bit more craftier. I think he's a better manager right now. Bo Nix he's an incredible quarterback. So I don't know if he's gotten worse the last 3 years, Noah John. I disagree with that. You know, we just, different opinions. But also, too, you got to think as well, what did DK do up there? DK was hurt every once in a while. You never had any consistency from him as well. You start wondering, like, is it really Gino or is it the other guys running? So same thing was, the running backs. Did they really have good running backs behind him after Marshawn he left? And so it was kind of like this, obviously musical chairs with the running backs, and I finally got one, okay, that would come in and play, man. So.
Kenneth Walker is good for Seattle, but he's another guy who just cannot stay healthy at all. He's got constant groin injuries.
Yeah. So, they're gonna struggle this year. They're gonna really struggle this year in Seattle. So, but all you're looking for right now, Noah John Marshall and everybody else in the West, is Pete just needs somebody to not screw things up, manage the game, and Gino can do those things. So that's why you go get a young back like that. So the in a tight spot, hand the ball off to him. Let him go make something happen.
Do you buy Ashon Jeanty? Pepe Trey's asked a question here saying, what are your thoughts on Raiders O-line? Because that's what a lot of people are saying. Everyone's talking about Jeanty being the next big thing. Raiders O-line's kind of suspect. How do you see him faring this year?
I think he'll be all right. Those guys are big guys anyway, man. They do a pretty decent job. I don't think they're a bad O-line at all. It's just sometimes when you got Aiden O'Connell back there who can't move around to save his life, he's just not that guy when they were trying to block for him. And so, when he's back there as a statue, it's just not going to work. So Gardner also too, man, he was, just up and down. So it was a mess, man, last year. It was just a mess. Just a bad deal all around. And you could feel it. You could feel them when they were playing. I had the cousins, my barber, he's a Raiders fan, and they were all just miserable just talking about him. So,
Yeah, one of our older brothers is a Raiders fan, and even us winning that game by 2 was a win for them. They were happy that they thought it was a win that we won by that snap infraction.
Oh, listen, hey, yeah, a good team like the Chiefs should have blown the team that's struggling out. But we know they're always going to play us tough. We know that. Why? Because we know them. We know each other. So there's no shock there.
Yeah, and that's precisely why we're doing these AFC West shows, because we play these teams 2 times a year. We know this team. These are like our distant cousins, essentially. So, and that's why we do this.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.